Hey guys, welcome back to another one. My name's Braden and I'm an artist. So, the Loomis Method, maybe you've heard of it. Today, I'm going to be teaching you 6 different Loomis heads based on 6 different reference photos. Now, the goal after you've watched this video is I want you to be able to look at a reference photo, whether it's for a client or maybe it's just a portrait that you want to try to draw, and be able to look at it and see the Loomis head underneath. So when you bust out your paper and start drawing, you don't even have to think about it. It's more or less second nature for you. So if you find yourself enjoying this class, then you'll probably enjoy my Skillshare classes. Obviously that's separate from YouTube, but I do have a referral link in the description of this video. If you check it out, you can get a 7-day free trial with Skillshare. After that 7 days, it's $14 a month. But not only do you have access to all of my exclusive content, you have access to their entire premium catalog, so it's a pretty good deal. Now, what to expect. In this one, we are going to be going through 6 different reference photos, and I'm going to be showing you some tricks on how you can draw the perfect circle every time, which of course is the first step of drawing the Loomis method. From there, analyzing your reference photo and seeing where the eyes of the subject go. And by doing that, you can pinpoint where you need your oval to be, your vertical and your horizontal axes, and that will allow you to effectively split the head into 3 equal sections by drawing out your hairline, your brow line, the bottom of your nose, and then of course the bottom of your chin. Once those lines are established, you can draw out your cheek plane and you can build out your chin and your jaw. And then of course from there, you can extend the neck and the shoulders of your subject. Before we jump into this one, make sure that you like, make sure that you subscribe, and then make sure you turn on all of your notifications so that you never miss when my latest and greatest videos hit the channel here at Mr. Creations. All right, let's hit it. All right, so first we're going to be using our compass and just a green sketch pencil. And yeah, so you're gonna want to take your compass and set it to a 2. And then we'll place the compass right in the middle of the paper here. And then just very lightly, we're gonna do our first step for our Loomis head. We're gonna just do a basic circle. Now, looking at the subject, they're looking off to their left in about a 3/4 turn. So that means our oval is gonna look something like this, okay? Something like that. Essentially what that is the oval is the side plane of the head. So this right here is our vertical axis. And then depending on what the eyes are doing, looks like the eyes are at an angle about like that. So we're gonna wanna make sure that our horizontal axis, which basically is the beginnings of our brow line, you can think of it that way, lines up with the eyes. So what I like to do, that's a little unorthodox from traditional Loomis heads, is I like to put a little temple plane right there, and then we're just going to pull over our hairline, our brow line, and then the bottom of our nose. So once we have those drawn out, what we're going to do is we're going to identify our center line of the face. Okay, just pull that down, and then an equal pull from the bottom of the nose to right about there. That's the bottom of the chin. So we have effectively 3 fairly equal sections of the face. Now we're going to want to pull up from the bottom of the chin up and over like that. And then from our vertical axis, pull down. That's the beginnings of our jaw. And then pull the chin over to connect to the jaw. There we are, just like that. It's that simple. It's that simple. And then right here, we have the beginnings of our neck. And you don't have to get too crazy here with the details. I just wanted to punch in the turtleneck and kind of show you how you can plug your Loomis head into the shoulders of your subject, whatever that reference looks like, just so that you don't have a floating head, right? But of course, it's your drawing. It's your subjective take on what you want. But, all right, and then also, right here, this is the cheek plane of the subject. You start from the center of your horizontal and your vertical axis, and you pull over and down. Something just like that. Almost kind of looks like a Mandalorian helmet, if you want to think of it that way, if you're into the Mandalorian. I very much am. And then right here, you're going to want to split that third section into 3 equal sections in and of their own space. And that helps you identify the top of where the lips would be and the bottom of where your lips would be. So effectively 3 sections: brow line, hairline, nose line. And that's your first section, your second section, and then your third section. And you can go through and you can beef up different lines, play with line weights and qualities, if you will, but that is the basis. And that took us, a whole 3 minutes. And now we have a rock solid foundation for going in with charcoal or whatever it is that we want, graphite, and start to punch in the features. Okay, so next one. Again, compass. We're going to sketch this one out with a blue sketch pencil this time, but same thing. We're going to set our compass to 2. We're going to place our compass right smack dab in the middle of the paper, very lightly. We're going to do a circle. There we are. And this is where you can cheat. You can take your compass from a 2 to a 1, and then you can use your compass to identify that side plane. This is cheating. Obviously, this isn't an oval, it's just another circle, but hey, we're artists. We like to do things that are easy and that are effective. So that's a little trick of mine that you can use for yourself, if you will. All right, so vertical axis, because she's looking down, right? And then depending on what her eyes are doing, looks like they're going like that. We're going to take our horizontal axis and go straight across, okay? And then our temple plane right there. And now we're going to identify our hairline, our brow line, and then the bottom of our nose, okay? And then we want to identify our center line, right? We want to split the face right down the middle. Take that line from the center of the forehead down through the center of the nose, center of the lips, to the tip of the chin. Something like that, okay? Don't overthink it, guys. It's just the Loomis head. That's all it is. It's the exact same steps, only the angles are different. But the steps are the same. And don't worry about speed. If I'm going way too fast for you, simply pause the video, catch up. Don't worry about speed. Focus on the technique, and speed will come. Okay, and then from the center of our vertical and horizontal axis, pull over and down. And we've effectively identified our cheek plane there. Wonderful. And then the subject's neck in this one's doing something like this. And her shoulder, the beginnings of her deltoid muscle are going down. And then I just like to beef up the side plane there and just like kind of give some dimension to my Loomis head. So hairline, brow line, bottom of the nose. And then of course about 3/4 of the way down, top of the lip, and then bottom of the lip. Just like that. And don't go overboard with details, guys. Just sketch. I want you to sketch out a couple hundred of these, okay? First section, second section, third section, and that's it. All right. Number 3, we're gonna do this one in red, one of my favorite colors. All right, so set it to a 2, center of the paper. Nice light circle here. And don't get overwhelmed by the symmetry of a subject that's looking straight on, okay? This is how you do it. This right here is how you do it. You just pull down, because our ovals, we can't see them, right? Because of the nature of our subject looking straight on. So we're going to pull straight across to the top, all right? Your brow line is going to be in the center. It's going to be in the center of that oval on an angle such as this. So you can just identify the center, right? And then you just pull over, just like that. Hairline, brow line, and then the bottom of the oval is the bottom of our nose. Something just like that, okay? Our center line, obviously, is right smack dab in the middle. Just go one section at a time, just like this. You don't have to pull that line all the way from the top to the bottom. Then about an equal measure right there, bottom of the chin. Okay, so now this is where we pull up, and then we connect it right there, right to the bottom of that oval, just like that, over and up. Okay, with practice, you'll get better at the symmetry. Don't worry about the symmetry for now. Just focus on that technique, because that's how you do it. And of course, he's got, looks like a cardigan, or something like that here. Pull this over. Yeah. Hairline, brow line, bottom of our nose, bottom of the chin. And then same thing, top of the lip, bottom of the lip. Make sure we split that equally there. And then of course, we can kind of beef up the sides of the head, because obviously the head's not a perfect circle, especially at this angle. But with the Loomis head, it is a nice beginning for us. So we have our first section, second section, and our third sections. And then when it comes to the cheek planes, again, those cheek planes start in the center of your oval. So just like with our brow line where we started from that point on the Loomis head, we're going to do the exact same thing with our cheek planes, okay? Right from that point, because that is the intersection of our vertical and our horizontal axes on the side plane of our Loomis head. Something just like that. There we are. And that's how you do a Loomis head looking straight on. Now, we're going to do a nice 3/4 turn with the subject looking off to their right. So we're going to do green for this one. All right, same thing. Set your compass at a 2, center of the paper. Nice light circle. Okay. And then very similar to the first one. Very similar to the first one. Our oval is going to be something like that. There's our side plane. Vertical axis. And then the eyes are going like that, so horizontal axis. Temple plane. Pull that hairline over. Pull that brow line over. Pull the bottom of that nose over. Once that's done, identify your center line. Split that face right in half. And this isn't an exact science, guys. This is the whole point of the Loomis head, is to give you a proportional foundation to work off of when it comes to implementing and drawing out your features, such as your eyes, your nose, and your mouth, okay? A framework, if you will. Kind of like when you see houses being built, right? That foundation is what is built first, and that foundation is crucial to the rest of the structure's integrity. It's the exact same thing with portraits, especially. And I always felt Andrew Loomis was onto something. Obviously, he didn't come up with the Loomis head. That was actually an interpretation of his from his art teacher. But he made it his own, as most artists do. And you can do that too. Just because my Loomis head looks like this, and this is how I like to do it, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's how you have to do it. You can make subtle changes. Maybe you see something that I don't see and it'll make it better. And you should do that. Okay. Number 5, Same thing, blue. I hope by now you're starting to see that it's very repetitive. The Loomis head, it's the exact same thing over and over again. It's just the angles are different. So I'm hoping that with these different references with different angles, you can walk away with a thorough understanding of how to approach your next portrait. So same thing, we're going to cheat here a little bit, even though technically this isn't an oval, just another baby circle. We're going to do that. Our subject is looking something like that. That's the angle of the eye. So we're just going to do our vertical axis here, our horizontal axis here. Our temple plane looks something like that. Then of course, our hairline will be up here somewhere. And then our brow line is going to be right here somewhere. And the bottom of our nose is going to be right there. Yes. And then our center line. Looks like our subject's not quite looking completely sideways, so we're going to pull that center line something like this, bottom of our chin, pull our jaw down from the vertical axis, and then connect the bottom of our chin. There we are. So, hairline, brow line, bottom of the nose. Our cheek plane, let's get that established. Pull from the center of your vertical and your horizontal axis, over and down. And we have the other side of the face here, something like that. Boom, perfect. Let's beef up our side plane there. Give our Loomis head some dimension. And then here I just like to play with the neck and the shirt of my subject. Something like that. That way you can kind of see the nature of the head as you can plug it into the shoulders. And you can play around through different line weights, just like I'm doing here. You can line them all out or you can line none of them out. It's totally up to you. It's whatever works best for you. Section 1, Section 2, Section 3, and then of course, let's not forget top of our lip and the bottom of our lips. Something like that. Okay. Uno más, as they say. One more. Red. Now, I saved the most complex for last, okay? So something like this, even though the angle of our subject here is a little unconventional, she's looking down and she's tilting her head. And so there's a plane on this one that we haven't identified with any of the others, and I'm going to show you how to accomplish that. So her eyes are going something like this, which means that the oval or her side plane here is going to look something like this, right? Something like this. Okay, and the way her head is tilted, we're not going to be able to see the other one, the other side, so we're just going to slice off half of our circle there. And then there's our vertical axis and then our horizontal axis. Okay. Don't get overwhelmed by complex angles like the way she has her head tilted. Stick to the principles of the Loomis head and you'll be fine. Hairline, brow line, bottom of the nose. Let's identify the center line. Just come right down the center, something like this. Pull this down right there. Then because of the angle, this last section is going to be a little shorter than all the rest. So there's the bottom of her chin, right? There's her jaw. We're going to pull that over and connect it. And then we're going to pull over, and she's got a little bit of a square face, so we can pull that over and then straight up. And then here's that plane right there. This is the bottom of her jaw. Okay. This is what messes up a lot of younger artists that are just learning portraits. They get overwhelmed by these complex angles. Something just like that, right? The light is coming from the right side and on the top, so that whole part of that plane is going to be shadowed. And then of course we have her cheek planes. I have her hairline here, her brow line there, bottom of her nose somewhere right there, and then of course her lips, top lip, bottom lip, something like that. So I'm hoping that you got a lot out of this video as far as how to use the Loomis head with different references. That's the whole point. Because obviously, if you find yourself drawing a lot of portraits, or maybe you're a portrait-only artist, there are many of those in the world, or you want to get into that, this is a rock-solid approach that you can implement in your own drawings for your portrait portfolio. And it is a proven method. I am by no means the first. I simply am teaching you what Andrew Loomis taught many, many years ago. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay happy, stay healthy, and remember, never stop drawing.